3 weeks since the presidential election, and it's clear the results caught a lot of people by surprise. A closer look at voter demographics shows white men 45 years and older who live in rural areas were key voters that ushered Donald Trump into the White House. And nearly half of all white women voters that cast their ballot did it for Trump, which is surprising to me given that so many women claimed before the election that their right to reproductive freedom was their number one campaign issue, and Trump bragged about being the reason they no longer have it. His SCOTUS picks are the ones who overturned Roe versus Wade. Now, rural Americans, Trump's key MAGA supporters, statistically have less college education than people living in suburban and urban areas. But it's turning out that even white people who traditionally graduate from college are choosing not to matriculate at all. White student enrollment is down 22% between 2012 and 2022. That's from 9 million to 7 million enrollment. That's according to an article in the Chronicle of Higher Education. This news has got educated white people scared because they thought they were the ruling class. I'm Steffanie Rivers, and you're watching my journal. Now, election results have gotten them trying to figure out what happened because they believed President Joe Biden and others when they kept proclaiming, "This is not who we are." When Biden said spewing hate speech against fellow Americans is not who we are. Finding excuses for police who murder unarmed Black people is not who Americans are. Not caring about the well-being of others, except in a crisis, is not who Americans are. It turns out all the above, and having no moral compass that prevents them from supporting a morally bankrupt man who really cares only about himself is really who the majority of the Americans are. Had they asked Black people born and raised in the United States, we would have confirmed, yeah, that's who they are. Now, educated white people have a habit of ignoring the existence of humanity of anybody that makes them feel uncomfortable and makes them have to reconsider the consequences of their actions. Black people born and raised in America know this better than anyone. So, when I heard that white college enrollment is significantly down over the last 15 to 20 years, and now people are starting to ask why, I asked myself why there was none of this concern about Black college enrollment being down. And then I remembered, because nobody expects us to graduate from college and excel in the first place. Whether it's teen pregnancy or drug use or Black male incarceration or low wages, etc., it's only when the same statistics happen to white people that there's a national outcry. And when I looked at why some of these white students are less likely to attend college, here's what the article said and questions that it raised beyond the article. Now, of course, we know it's a money thing. The cost of a college education is about $29,000 annually at public universities. And that's even more if you're going to a private or Ivy League university. Over a 4-year span, that's about $120,000. Or if you're studying to be a doctor or an attorney or other high-income earner, it could be double that amount. So depending on your major, it's doubtful that a graduating senior will find a job that pays enough to cover student loan payments and the current cost of everyday living expenses. So some people just get a job out of high school, or they go to the military where all your living expenses are paid for. That's one of the reasons that I started my drone company. And I want to share this quick information with you about that. So again, that's TCB Drones. That's my company that I started a couple of years ago. So I am watching the chat. So if you want to chime in on anything, I am looking at that. But again, we're talking about the cost of college, a college education, and why some college educated white people are surprised at the results of the election. Now, beyond the money issue, some white students felt that they felt some kind of way about not being the center of attention at predominantly white colleges where they would have matriculated. They said that colleges seem to cater recruitment efforts to non-white students. And even though the curriculum was um, even still beyond the recruitment efforts, they felt like the curriculum itself, the courses offered, were too inclusive and diverse, if you can believe that. So that just proves my previously stated point that even when Black student enrollment is the focus, when some people do try to encourage us to go to college and excel beyond expectations, that makes some people so uncomfortable that they decide college is not a place for them. Then their absence makes other people anxious. Then reports are made and studies are conducted. We could have saved some people a lot of time and a lot of money if they just would have asked us first. To find out more about the things that I care about, you can go to the written version of my journal. That's at